What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. We have finally reached the point where we can kill off 2020, and I cannot be any happier. We're here, and hopefully we're going to have a good end-of-year show just to finish kicking rocks to 2020. What's up, little brother?
I'm good. Ready to be done with this dumpster fire of a year. Glad we get to celebrate at least one more the last podcast of the year. Let's do it.
Jay King, how are you?
Doing great. I gotta admit, well, first, happy holidays, everybody. It's the new year, thank God. I gotta admit, I'd be lying if I said that, we made so many fond memories in 2020. The hell with this year. If there's ever been a time to fast forward another 24 hours, this would be it. I'm so ready to put this whole year behind us.
Indeed. Gunner, can you help us get off the suicide watch?
Yeah, man. Hey, man. It's time to move on to this year, man. I feel for the people that, are still for real struggling this year, man. I'm just grateful to be here, prospering, and keep moving forward, y'all. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you still have us listening to Fiona Apple. Jay King, you watched Wonder Woman. Gunner, you watched Wonder Woman. Y'all weren't on the show last week. I'm going to give y'all the floor to just talk about what you thought about this spectacle from DC Films.
Do we have a fart noise? We got a fart noise for this, like on the radio? That shit was a turd. My God, that shit. I saw somebody from Howard say, I saw it on the wall, and I think somebody else sent it to us. Oh, like, this should have been a CW show, primetime show, at coming on at 8. And I'm like, you know what? If this was broken up into several episodes, we might have liked it more. But the continuity was just off. The acting was, God. I mean, they tried. It was like they tried, and you can tell the writing just wasn't there for them, for their acting skills. It's like, I know that very well because of Tyler Perry movies, and that's what this was, a white Tyler Perry movie. And so I was like, it was a white Tyler Perry movie sponsored by DC Comics, which made me more pissed because Linda Carter plus, Gal Gadot, the Mandalorian, they deserve better. They deserve better. The character deserved better. Wonder Woman herself deserved better than this mess, man. There's so many things wrong with this movie. It's not even funny. Like Monkey's Paw, how does it work? Anybody can answer that question? They win. Do you run away from it? Do you just renounce your wish? Because I truly renounced my wish to freaking watch that movie. I was like, yo, we got to go. And then I had my mother-in-law and my dad in here, so we had generations of people in here. And then Bernie woke up and started watching the end of it. And he was like, he was just confused. I was confused. We got 3-4 generations of confused people in one house in one movie, and that's strange. Usually somebody would like it, right? Nope.
Yeah, not even one person was able to get it.
Not one. Everybody's like, this is terrible. And then Cheetah, man, come on, man. They ain't had to pull the cat CGI over to this shit, man. That shit was terrible. I was like, first of all, why Cheetah white? Second of all, this was a white, not white, Kristen Wiig was white. No, I'm talking literally the color white.
Instead of orange.
When she's supposed to be orange, yeah. And I was like, all right, they already messed that up. And then I'm like, yo, the animation. She looked like she was in Cats. She's like, yo, well, you got to fight Wonder Woman, but you got to star in the shitty CGI Cat version movie, right after. Good God. I mean,
yeah.
I can't
Don't
begin
double look yourself, Cheetah.
Yeah, man. And then your boy, oh, God, Pedro, man. What the hell, man? Why? And then I was done with him anyway because it was the worst portrayal of Max Lord, dude, I have ever. I couldn't imagine, I thought Max Lord was supposed to be a sexist. I thought he was supposed to be a sexist, right?
He's a lot of things, and they had a lot to pull from with Max Lord, and
yeah.
I don't know what they did with him. It was midway through, Patty Jenkins was like, well, maybe we should not make him a bad guy, but just this guy. Right, well, come on, man. The whole movie, he's been like, yeah, I don't care if people kill each other. I just want more wishes so I can keep myself alive because I value my health above everything else.
Oh, shit, we forgot we introduced his son. Let's make sure that we, oh, my God.
Yo,
it's they forgot that he existed.
Well,
then
the
they put him
son
back in.
forgot that he was acting in a movie. He was like, "Are you my daddy?"
Yeah, all that mess. Oh my God, this
It was
dude.
like negative chemistry.
Yeah,
Well, Jay King.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Jay King, what did you think about it?
This was this was garbage. This was, I feel like for all the hype and hoopla, the delays, you could have released this on a Sunday afternoon in early February. You could have just
On
put
TBS.
this movie out on. It could have been on TBS in the world premiere of Wonder Woman '84. You don't care because it's gonna stink. This movie stunk. And look, I ain't afraid of anybody's backlash. We're not sexist. We're not any of those things. You have to
do you know how many
call
women
garbage
don't like
garbage.
this movie?
But Gunner, there's gonna be a lot that do and gonna say that any man that doesn't like it is a sexist. He's a hater. He's this because you can't have you can't agree with the popular opinion, right? Whatever it is, you have people who are gonna hate it. You got people who are gonna love it and defend it. That's just the way it is. People are gonna defend it.
Movie is trash. It's like that's the popular.
Well, Jason, you got to remember, that depends, right? Because it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and some people sight unseen go with that, right? They make their decisions based on Rotten Tomatoes. They took it off.
They took that off. Yeah, B. They took that off.
Really?
Like,
they had a
Sunday or whatever. Yeah, they took that off.
National
like Sunday or Monday.
ad campaign. Their national
right
ad
now,
campaign
it is 61%. So it is hanging by 3%.
Hanging on.
Fresh. So technically, they can say yes, we are certified fresh. But if like 6 more critics hate it, it's going to be rotten.
Yeah, it's done. But you have people who are going to defend this turd to the hill, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about, and it's not so much their opinion, really matters. Like, look, this was trash. Call it what it is. This movie stunk, and plot holes and everything else aside, it just wasn't good. Gunnar, you touched on it. The writing, the acting. Kristen Wiig started that film. Her introduction was like a bad SNL skit. I thought she was doing a character from one of her days in SNL.
I'm sorry, are you talking about Wonder Woman or every movie she's ever done?
Wow.
Ethan. Yeah, he's setting her on fire today.
Dude, go back to all the podcasts when they said that she was going to be Cheetah. Like when Jeff first told us that, I said the exact same thing. Like, that don't fit.
I remember.
That shit don't fit.
Yeah, it don't fit. It don't go. And we saw, and we got firsthand why that don't go. We got to see firsthand why it doesn't go. You didn't feel anything for her character. If they would have killed her off in the first 10 minutes, you wouldn't have batted an eyelash. You really wouldn't.
The problem with it though, I didn't care about anybody. The only person in this entire movie that I cared about was the poor schmuck who Chris Pine took over, so Wonder Woman could get her jollies off. She was like, "Yo, I'm done with you.
What does this guy do now?
You gonna sit in the street. Hopefully, you make it back to your spot. Sorry about that informal superhero date rape I did. It's all good though. I'm glad to see you all right, and I like your outfit.
It's all good, dummy. I'm gonna drop you off here in the chaos of downtown DC. That was the only good thing about this movie is that they shot on location, on the exception of a few scenes. Those of us in this area, you recognized immediately where they were. Pennsylvania Avenue, Georgetown, Commander Salomon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you knew the Watergate Hotel.
Was like,
you knew exactly.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, they filmed it here. The Metro was messed up though.
That Metro looked a tad modern. And the
Metro
clean.
was like, there ain't no signs. Them signs came like when we were in our 20s. Like,
it should have been the red line is delayed for 20 minutes. That would have made it authentic.
One thing they were at LaFont Plaza. I'll give them that. They were on the platform at LaFont Plaza.
They were down the steps of LaFont Plaza.
He didn't tell Chris Pine to stand on the left, on the right though. That's the only.
You better not. He was
a tourist though. He was a tourist.
I know, and nobody came to roll him over. Like, I don't know. In the 80s, that still happened. I was there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why were the signs there? I was like, why were the signs there? Like, yo, back in the day, we had to guess. Like, we're like, I hope that shit's coming.
All right, let's move on because I think we could spend another hour bashing Wonder Woman.
Yes, we can.
So there were two interesting Marvel Studios news here. Shia LaBeouf was reportedly being eyed for a role with Marvel Studios before his latest incident of sexual battery lawsuit. I don't know why everybody's so pressed to keep this dude in action. I mean, have we not seen the Transformer films? I feel like that should be a stain that prevents him from anything else. But what possible role could he have been in that would have made you interested in watching Shia LaBeouf in a Marvel Studios film?
Interested or just forced to watch him? Because I don't think
faceless dude who gets punched out by any hero.
Maybe.
Now, remember how we were saying
Bar douchebag number one.
Like Gideon Malik, like he could play that role for the next Marvel movie. Nathaniel Malik. He could play the next version of him where it's just like, he deserved it. Good job.
I want to see him get punched in the face. Yes. Let's see here. But here's a much more interesting one. Joseph Gordon-Levitte is now being eyed for a new role. If you remember way back when, he was right on the cusp of breaking through to Marvel Studios because it was between him and Paul Rudd for the Ant-Man role. And they went with Paul. So at this stage of Marvel Studios, what role would work? Because if you're going to get JGL in a film, it needs to be a significant one with some potential sequels and franchise expanding roles. What would that be? Where would you want to see him?
Cyclops. Easy. Cyclops. That's it.
Well, wow. Okay. Man.
Second is the Beyonder.
Huh?
Yeah. Maybe it's a Beyonder, kind of like he's sneaking in every movie before you get to a secret Secret Wars.
See that.
Yeah.
Jay King, you got one?
Silver Surfer.
He could do that too. I think I like Gunner's Cyclops though. I'm like, I could see that.
Yeah, that fits.
If I just watched Inception again, it's like, yeah, he could do that.
Well, Gunner, I got a question for you though in regard to that. Are we gonna get another? That means we get another terrible X-Men, right? This is not a standalone.
No, MCU. No, X-Men is folding into MCU, so we're done with the crappy X-Men movies.
We're actually gonna get a good X-Men.
Thank God.
Yeah, the fact that even throughout New Mutants was just like a Fox is like, haha, I'm gonna leave the poop in the middle of the seat as we leave the office.
Good. Dump in this punch bowl as we leave the park.
Right. We're gonna leave you in 2020.
Right.
Chase, here's something very interesting for you. The Star Wars Force Awakens novelist Alan Dean Foster said he was forced to cut Rey and Finn romance hints.
Is anyone surprised by that? I mean, they decided, we might try and do this, but we might also have no idea what we're going to do in the next movie. So anything that could lead to a plot from another story, can you just take that out? Like, it'd really be helpful for us since we have no idea what we're doing.
You can tell they alluded to it in the first movie, and then they kind of actually you can literally tell what you just said. You can tell that they somebody yanked it because everything else was kind of felt like they were leading up to it, and then they yanked it, and you're like, okay, I guess they didn't want to do it. That's fine. I'm not gonna cry about it. But
I'm interested. Like, is he somebody they won't use to do future novels after blabbing that information, or is it just now the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Star Wars universe? So it's like now it's like you feel free to bash the Disney trilogies because we have a new regime taking over that you can call a spade. Trash is trash. I wonder if that's the case.
Good deal. Okay. So Wonder Woman debuted on HBO Max on Christmas as a special present for everybody who was interested in watching it and then going to Twitter and complaining about how terrible the movie was.
Cool.
Now, it did help HBO Max get a huge bump in subscribers. or streaming viewers. Over the Friday to Sunday period, it got 554,000 users watching,
Nice.
and a record 244,000 on Sunday alone. That's pretty good, right? Only problem was during that same period of time, Disney Plus had 2.3 million global downloads.
Wow. Uh-huh.
You know what that's about? Hello.
Well, Wonder Woman's the only movie available in 4K.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like everybody needed a palate cleanser and just watched The Mandalorian instead. Right after, like, oh, this shit was terrible. Let me watch something good.
Funny.
Everybody said it was good.
On my social threads, everybody was like, Wonder Woman was trash. So glad I was able to watch Soul.
Yeah, the Soul. That was the other one, too. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And that definitely helped Disney Plus because it didn't have a stench movie coming out that everybody's saying, don't watch it. So very interesting stuff. Let me see here. Last bit of news before we get into our feature for today. Justice League star Ray Fisher, you may know him as the guy who formerly played Cyborg, says he's not going to take part in any project DC Films boss Walter Hamada works on. He tweeted, Walter Hamada is the most dangerous kind of enabler. His lies and WB's PR's failed September 4th hit piece sought to undermine the very real issues of the Justice League investigation. I will not participate in any production associated with him. Now, clearly, he feels wrong. Some of his co-stars, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, have spoken out in varying ways about their support for what he experienced. And Josh Whedon is really not working on anything right now. So we could say maybe the main culprit for his disappointment is gone, not working with DC anymore. Is this the best move for Ray Fisher?
You talk integrity? Sure. Talk acting in Hollywood and how they deal with black actors who speak out. You can ask Eartha Kitt and your boy from Heroes. Probably not a good look, but, integrity-wise, we'll see. Unfortunately, you might have to do some Tyler Perrying and then move on to something else.
Now, how can you say it's all about integrity and then go work in Tyler Perry in the same sentence?
You got to eat too. I'm a realist. I'm a realist. There's some integrity where you don't want to work with the white cat or whatever, with the white adjacent cat that is screwing you over. And if you know that this is what's happening, then you don't want to work with those people anymore. But you still got to eat. But you just blacklisted yourself, and I mean that in the racist way that white people made that word, and you just blacklisted yourself. So at that point, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you might have to do some crappy role. Hopefully, it's a Spike Lee role, but it most likely will be your boy because that's what he does. So I don't know. I think integrity-wise is good. I feel like I liked what they were going to do with his cyborg, but I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just didn't like. It left a nasty taste in my mouth that his character wasn't developed, and then we find out why. You know what I mean? So I'm Team Fisher. It's just it's unfortunate. I just understand how Hollywood works too. You know.
In fairness, Ezra Miller's Flash character seems like he got screwed out of some development too. So I don't know what the deal was, but it was a bad look all around.
Okay, I'm just out of for very much for eating purposes. I think that's probably a piece or something you don't mention on Twitter. You just kind of tell your friends that, and you pass in public. You just kind of go with the silent, no comment. And because your integrity still isn't hurt. You just say privately, I don't want to work with that person, but you don't put it on blast. But again, I think Gunner's right. It's like you say now they can say, and it comes off as not that they were difficult. It's now you're difficult to work with, and that's
right.
when it starts a horrible narrative. And it's like, well, he didn't get his way, and then we decided to have a fair and balanced investigation, and he wanted us to do a hit job. So we won't be choosing to work with him. And since all of my buddies are who I talk with, you're not going to get a role. And that's unfortunately his agent or somebody should be like, I know you want to make this statement, but you can't make that statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still, what I really, after even messing with DC, you just dropped something like Ezra Miller. How is he still employed with DC? I've
Right.
not heard anything about that. I just don't understand that.
Who?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
I don't know. Maybe they did an investigation and he hadn't had any issues. Who knows?
I don't know. He kept his mouth shut. That's part of it.
He
You know,
did.
skin tone.
Skin
tone kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, Johnny Depp has been out there like, I'm gonna sue you too, and then it was this messy deal, and he's the one that got the hit from it. So who knows? All right. Well, we've reached this point where I needed something. I needed some fun and games. So 2020, not the best year. I think we've all agreed on that. But I task you all with the incredible task of giving me your best and worst of 2020, so we can celebrate the best and mock and deride frequently the worst. Which one of you brave souls would like to go first? Oh, JC, you look hyped up. Why don't you
go? Okay, bro. You're nice and generous. Because I made a point not to watch that many bad movies unless it was related to the show. I only actually had 2 movies that 100% make my worst of list. One, we spent last week bashing Wonder Woman 1984. I don't need to say anything more. But the other one is one I think most of us forgot in this podcast, and that is John Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure some of you guys forgot how bad that Terry Crews turd was. But then I remember seeing that came out this year, and I was like, this is impressively bad. Should not be watched again. Should not be viewed again for comedy. Bad. And I definitely say it deserves a spot on my list of worst films for 2020. And did you want me to go on the best of?
Sure. What do you got?
Okay, I got a couple of them. All right. So, first off is this year's favorite to win Best Picture, Bad Boys for Life. Because it's the last movie that actually made some money for the movie theaters.
Now, Wonder Woman made $85 million.
Yep.
Okay.
They won pandemic year.
They're not gonna count that as Best Picture. So, I think I'm safe. Next one I got is Invisible Man. I like that. I thought that was a very good take of modern Invisible Man. Don't have to go too much of anything else. But a real crazy kind of stalker dude that I think really worked on that. Next one I liked was Jingle Jangle. As Jeff asked me, we're watching some more holiday movies we're going to try and talk about on the podcast. But everyone was talking about Jingle Jangle, and I was like, let me check this one out. And I thought it's a musical Christmas movie. You could easily wrap some presents, have a good time. A good good cast. I really enjoyed that one.
It's funny. I didn't like one song in Jingle Jangle. And I love musicals. But I was like, when are we going to get to the good song here?
I liked the little girl song, her song, Justice's song. I liked hers.
Her song was about the best one, but it wasn't anything that made me go, oh, this is really good. I need to pause and rewind it.
Yeah, I could get you. I could dig that. And the next one on my list, I was going to say, I laughed at Old Guard, the one with Charlize Theron, which on Netflix. I don't know if that would have made it. That was a perfect kind of movie to have on Netflix because if it was on theaters, if it had come out in like February or March, I would say, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that and let somebody tell me it's good. But seeing it on Netflix where I could watch it for free, and then if they decided to maybe make a sequel that was in movie theaters, I'd actually go see the next one now because it's okay, that first one was good. Looks like it has a good story. The action was really good in that. So I definitely made my list. And I think my last real one was Christmas Chronicles 2. That was the one with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. It was a continuation of the first one, lighthearted, watches Christmas, had some fun hijinks, and because that's what we had for 2020, that's all you needed, just something to make you laugh and smile for a little bit. So that was on my list, and that's my best of 2020.
All right, Gunner.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So my worst. I only have 3 of each really, and maybe one honorable mention, right? The worst. Jason mentioned it. I was like, that was number 1. You can say what you will about Wonder Woman 84. At least the costumes worked or something. You can say something, anything. You can find one teeny little kernel of good. The actors, I recognize them. Something cool with Wonder Woman, right? It was really a terrible movie, but you can still say something. But John Henry, you can't say anything. That movie was just terrible from start to finish, all the way through. Acting, the people, the life, the everything, like the lighting, everything. Like nothing was right, and it was the most god awful thing I've ever seen. And Terry Crews deserves to be in it because he's a horrible person.
Don't forget Offshoot by Terry Crews.
Yeah, I have to throw that at him. The next problematic black person thing I got here is A Fall from Grace. That was 2020.
Oh gosh, man, that was a perfect. Those two are perfect. 2020.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot we watched that movie this year.
That was 2020. Gosh. I looked it up. I was like, was that this year or was that like December? Nope, it was this. Ashtray, bitch, this year. So I put like.
And that's who you want our boy Ray Fisher to work with.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's got to eat, and unfortunately, he's going to get blacklisted for that tweet, man. That's the problem. And he's going to end up in Fall from Grace 2 or something. It's going to be terrible. He's going to put a wig on him. He's like, man, I'd rather have the cyborg outfit than this freaking wig, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. In any case, I put next to... what is it?
Put some bad CGI on me instead.
Or something. It's going to be terrible. But yeah, Fall from Grace was like my number 2 worst of ever. I mean, right under John Henry. John Henry just, you can't get much worse than that. And that's me saying that about Tyler Perry. At least he did it in his own studio. I don't know what the hell. John Henry was filmed in like Crenshaw, like somebody's house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're gonna do it on this house. There you go. And then that's it. Anyways, I had a hyphen next to Fall from Grace saying anything Tyler Perry made this year because I don't care. And then, out of all the movies I saw this year, I'm like, I was excited about Wonder Woman 1984 is a masterpiece compared to the 2 I just named. But of all the hype and everything that we were all so excited about, and the fact that the first one was so great, just on disappointment purposes and everything we mentioned earlier on this call, it has to make my list of worst. But it's the 3rd worst. It's not John Henry. It's not Tyler Perry's trashness. So there you go. My best, I'm cheating a little bit by saying Hamilton. Because
it's not cheating. It's not cheating.
Yeah, it's a little cheating because it's theater, right? But I do, and I'm going to rub it in one more time for at least 2 of our listeners who decided to buy tickets and not tell their husbands, and one of them is my wife, and, buy tickets for the Kennedy Center one, and then COVID hit, and they just short $120, both of them. And we got to watch it on Disney Plus for free while eating Uber Eats and being happy. Haha. So Hamilton's there for that reason, as well as the fact that it's freaking good. Best number 2, Uncorked, about the black sommelier. I thought that could have been like, E Street Theater, independent film, theater movie. but it was a Netflix movie, and I think it was appropriate for Netflix. Kind of like what you said about whatchamacallit, Jason, the Charlie Theron one. It was perfect for Netflix. I don't know what it would have done in a AMC regular theater, but I know like a AFI or you know what I mean, like one of those that would have done well, right? And then the next one is a straight to video or home video, straight to home format. Wonderful film based off of another wonderful film called Batman Under the Red Hood. This was Batman: Death in the Family, the interactive movie. Oh my gosh, I think they really did a good job with that. I kind of liked it a little bit better than Apocalypse. When they ended the 52. I actually enjoyed what they did with the Red Hood story that they kind of like cultivated a little bit more of in Under the Red Hood, and they kind of added like, okay, this was like choose your own adventure type of thing. And
right.
I went through all 7, and holy crap, one of them still sticks with me. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but good Lord, one of them really still sticks with me. I think, Jeff, you know which one I'm talking about. I was like, oh.
Zoran.
Yeah. Yeah. What did he say? Zoran R. I was like, Zoran R. I was like, yo, I can't watch that one anymore. I'm not going down that path anymore. Good Lord. But those are like the 3 really good ones. I mean, honorable mention goes to Bad Boys 3, of course. That was the last one I really watched in the theater. So I kind of missed the movie theater just because, anybody on this podcast is a movie buff, so I missed the theater. But I'm not going to risk my life to watch it for Tenet. I'm going to watch Tenet here at some point when I don't have to pay for it.
You still have to watch Tenet.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's on demand and all that. I'm like, no, I still don't want to pay for it just because Chris Nolan
I'm running out of days to watch it in 2020.
I'm not going to watch it in 2020. I'll watch it next year because I'm not giving Chris Nolan any money for all his whining. I'm sorry. That's just whack. And then honorable mention goes to a TV show called The Mandalorian because they fixed the freaking movies. The end. That's it.
All right, J. King. Technical difficulties been giving you the blues. They've been giving you the 2020s. Let's fire back.
Yeah, they've been giving me let's get them back. So I'm gonna do my best of, and it's not just movies. I'm gonna do movies and television. In music, best of. It was a big landscape, of course, as always. We got so many releases. 2020 was no different, even during the pandemic. One of, if not my favorite release for the year, and I didn't think it would be, but given the state of music that we're in, Thundercat. It is what it is. Surprisingly, Thundercat has gone from like this weirdo bassist to round solid musician who's got like off the wall but gives you solid output every time. It was another really solid album from him this year. In television, I was on the fence because this one is this is going to be on the final season of Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. It came along at a time when we were desperately trying to entertain ourselves and have something to keep us, glued to the TV and staying home and staying put. And they did the perfect job. They spread it out over, I don't know how many weeks. I don't remember now, but they spread it out and gave you something to be home for Sunday for. It was involved. It was very entertaining. We got to see the side of Michael Jordan that we never got to see before. It was also a treat to look at old, bloodshot-eyed, drunk-ass Michael Jordan being a jerk there. Being a jerk. Old glassy-eyed Mike holding on his whiskey, being a jerk. It gave you a window into not just what it takes to for a championship team to have success even after winning as much as they had won during that time, but a window into what it's like for someone like Michael Jordan, what their mindset is. I always say that we don't know what it's like to be at that level because there's a level of greatness. You're not going to be a nice guy to attain. You can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time. It takes a level of dedication that most folks can't understand because most people aren't dedicated to themselves. So it gave you a window into that. Um, movie best of. I didn't watch a ton of movies because not a lot of them were good this year. I'm sorry, but one of the best ones that I did manage to see was what is it? What is Pete Davidson's King of Staten Island?
Yes.
I watched that. It was really good to me. It was really funny. It was just I so much that kid because I think at some point all of us, especially in our early 20s, I like Pete in that movie. You're just aimlessly drifting, trying to find your way, to be understood. Add that to the fact that he was really coming. He's still, and you can tell in that movie, he's still coping and getting over his father's death. So it was really a piece for him to not just break out, but to have some therapy. So those are my top three in that landscape. Time for the worst of. Worst of is Jay Electronica's Best of Both Worlds with Jay-Z. I don't even know what that album is called. I can't remember because Gunner, you yell laugh. Dude, a written testimony, I think is the name. Now, I've been a Jay Electronica fan. First heard Spotless Eternal Sunshine, the EP he did way back, and I want to say this was 2005, 4, 5, something like that. I said, oh my God, hip hop. And never materialized. He just continued to drop single after single. And it was like, all right, dude, come on. You got to give us an album at some point. This is getting old. I'm like, okay, 2005, 2008, 2013, 2015. It got to the point where you just can't defend Jay Electronica anymore and his lack of output. You keep saying, oh, he's the nicest MC, one of the nicest MCs out. Yeah, but where's his album? He's got no output. He finally gives us output, and it's a duet with Jay-Z.
Yep.
And look, this is not to disparage Jay-Z, but for your debut album this is your showcase. This is your welcome to me as an artist for the world. We don't need heavy doses of anyone else, especially a very established artist like Jay-Z. It was a cop-out to me. It was a real cop-out. So that no matter what happens, we release this thing, people are going to buy it whether they know Jay Electronica or not. Jay-Z's involved. Okay, so it's worth a listen. It's worth a download. So it was a real big cop-out, and that damn good. It was like a bunch of recycled ideas from that era of Jay Electronica, which manifested into a 15 years too late album. Shove it up your ass, Jay, and give us something better. Give us your album for your next entry.
Hey man, they hit its stride on its last song.
On its last song. Hey, Gunner, that was the ultimate middle finger.
Everything else
it was perfect. It was the ultimate middle finger to fans. It was the ultimate middle finger. It's like, now I can write you off completely. Done. Now I can write you off.
Right.
Worst of The Last Dance. Reason I say
God.
that.
Okay. All right,
Reason being, we had a lot of worst stuff. Well, I say that because Jordan cleaned up version of a lot of things, right? It was his cleaned up, glossy version of a lot of things. And another appreciation, I'm sorry to jump backwards, but something I forgot to mention when it was on my best of, is the fact that they gave kids an opportunity, those who missed completely the Jordan era, it gave them the opportunity to see what kind of star magnitude this guy had and created, and the blueprint he laid out for athletes for generations to come, and a phenomenon in sports like him since. You can name them. LeBron, Brady, it does not matter. None of them have had that impact. Michael Jordan changed the entire landscape of sports, of how leagues are marketed, athletes are marketed, how product placement and product involvement is, corporate product placement in sports is. He changed it all. Getting back to the bad, this was Michael Jordan's cleaned up version of a lot of things, and it was You can't be upset with that because it is the Bulls' last dance. But I would have liked to have seen a little more factual, if you will, like a little more factual occurrences rather than some glossed over stuff. And I completely understand. Michael Jordan has complete control over the project. He had complete control over the project. That's why what made it to film or made it to our eyes made it to our eyes and nothing else. But I would have liked to have seen them not be, or not to see this be as glossed over as it was. And worse than film, Merry Christmas, Wonder Woman. The worst movie I saw this year. And look, as much as I like the first Wonder Woman, it was a real movie. The second one it really felt slapped together. It felt like they really didn't know where they were going with it. There's a lot not to like. I mean, from the opening action sequence, it looked like the opening action sequence. It was fun. I mean, like the Gladiator games, that was fun. When I say opening, I mean Diana and web slinging around, lasso slinging around Pentagon City.
Pentagon City.
Yeah, like come on, dude. And it was just cheesy for the. It wasn't a good amount of cheese. It was a little too much cheese. That set the tone for the rest of the movie. The inner Kristen Wiig doing her skit. I don't want this. I just don't want this. It never took off from there. Diana at the party and she runs and hey, I'm the guy that used to be. I'm this guy. I'm your old boyfriend. Would have made it better to me if the Rogan whose body Chris Pine took over. That would have at least been funny. Like Chris Pine, I'm sorry, Seth Rogen chasing down Diana.
That's funny.
I'm your ex-boyfriend. I'm your dead boyfriend. How's it going? I would have loved that. That would have been actually funny. It was a dumpster fire going forward. It just wasn't a good movie. I'm sorry. That's what I have. Go to hell, 2020.
2020 really even messed up Wonder Woman. Like, think about that. 2020 messed up a really good franchise, or would have been a really good franchise. Damn.
It also gave us a bunch of shitty versus battles and washed up rappers and R&B acts. It gave us the Nate Robinson getting flattened on his face by some goofy kid off of the YouTube, and two fat old 50-year-old former glorious champions Mike Tyson and Roy Jones sucking air for 5 rounds in an embarrassment.
It was hilarious.
This year was trash.
Well, fellas, it's really hard to argue with that. Now, having said all that, because we just laid out our worst, do you guys have any nominees for Dummies of the Week?
Mitch McConnell. That's all I need to say is name.
Grace, how about you?
Sure.
I got to give my Dummy of the Week to one Mr. Dr. Drew, who was telling people COVID was no big deal, and then has to send out the mea culpa like, oh yeah, guess what? It was a big deal. Sorry guys, my whole TV show about me telling y'all this is crap, not so much accurate because I'm feeling like crap because I got the virus. So that's my Dummy of the Week.
Good deal.
Never take advice from somebody who used to help people with their erections. That's number one.
Number one.
Dr. Drew, I wouldn't listen to Dr. Drew could tell me it's raining in the middle of a fucking hurricane. I wouldn't listen to him.
Wasn't he an infomercial guy first?
In New York
wasn't
City.
he the infomercial guy?
No, it was like sex.
I remember sex call with Adam Carolla, whatever.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah. No thanks. Doctor loosely. Mine is Karen City iPhone Karen who accosted someone's my man, I forget his name. He's a trumpeter. Horn player. I can't remember what he played. Trumpeter. Yeah. He's played with all kind of musicians throughout his career. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Hotel in New York City by some snarling raving beast Karen alleging that her son stole her iPhone, which would kind of be hard to do, being that you've never encountered this kid and you didn't even share the same space for him to have taken her phone. All for her to find out that her phone was in the back of an Uber. Like, this is what I keep saying about these people. God looked out for babies and fools, and they ain't babies, so they damn sure fools. They keep coming across these good-spirited black people instead of running at the wrong folks.
Let this happen.
They run into the wrong folks. Gunner, let this happen at Iverson Mall.
See, white woman dead at Iverson Mall because
white woman beaten into a puddle of blood at Iverson Mall for trying to snatch 14-year-old phone. Hey, this is the thing about that. Like my boy was saying, I said, look, she better be glad that wasn't some ghetto ass 14, 15-year-old. They won't even let their mama see their phone.
It's true.
And you trying to snatch their phone, white lady? I don't know. I will kill you out here. And you see what they do on a regular? You imagine her doing it on a metro to one of these kids?
Right. You just tell them shut up, and they'd be like, "What?" And 8 of them on you, like,
"What?"
Oh, all right, well.
Hey,
oh my God.
Beating the skin off of you.
Then you gotta tell somebody like, hey, skinny ass, skinny jeans, wearing motherfuckers just beat your ass.
Bright red shoes. You gotta explain.
Bright red shoes.
That. You got the bright red shoe print all over your forehead. You sat there and told some kids, can you just quiet it down a little bit?
Right.
And they done beat you halfway to death. So imagine death out here. A message to the Karens. You're the dummies of the year probably at this stage, but no, they can't be dummies of the year, dog. We had too much. We had too much of a lot of people. That should have been on tonight too. Dummy of the year. If not dummy of the decade. No. That'd have been last year. For now, dummy of the week is this Karen. And a message to those Karen, those white women out here who feel empowered. I don't know what your deal is. Was Trump got y'all amped up? I don't know, but that's about to be over. Come back to life. Come back to reality. Somebody gonna hurt. Some of y'all have gotten hurt out here messing with the wrong people.
Yeah, somebody gonna twist the T your ass quickly. Because if that dude was not a trumpeter, if he ain't had a trumpet in his hand, that was a twisted T in his hand, this video would have been a whole nother situation.
Hey, Gunner, did you see? You saw that one, right?
The twisted T brother? Yeah, man. Shoot.
Oh my God!
He's now Mr.
You gotta
T.
see this dude. He's Mr. T. Hey, Jeff Jason. If you ever see my man bust a twisted T over this white guy's head, you must see it. That was the hardest water balloon I ever saw.
I was like, that's a whole can. This dude just. I was like, good God! How hard do you have to hit somebody with a can or something for that shit to just explode?
With a bust over your head. And I like how he was on the ground pummeled, saying, okay, no, not okay. You're getting pummeled. He's hurting you badly.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. People about to get rechecked again. They're going to get checked again. They're going to be like, all right, y'all want to burn things to the ground and Black Lives Matter to the ground? Yeah, y'all know who to do this to. That's for sure. Because eventually this ain't going to be a good situation for y'all. Yeah, they're picking the right one.
What happens is you're going to catch the wrong. Eventually what's going to happen is you're going to run into the wolf in sheep's clothing, and he or she is going to really make you wish you made better life decisions.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Speaking of better life decisions, it is now time to wrap up 2020. So thank you, as always, for rolling with me. And thank y'all out there for listening. Hope you all have a very happy New Year's Eve celebration. And we will be back bigger, stronger, better than ever in 2021. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.